Question for you. Have you ever hosted a fundraising event like a gala? And what exactly are you doing leading up to the event? Are you at the registration table? Are you behind the scenes? What exactly are you doing, or what exactly are you supposed to be doing? That's our focus on this episode. Let's huddle up. Hey, welcome to another episode of Huddle Up with Mark, the Fun Coach. I'm Mark Duncan. Today, I want to talk about events and not so much fundraising events per se. I mean, yes, normally when I talk about events, I'm talking about how you can maximize them to generate additional income for your organization. And a lot of times that works really well. Sometimes it doesn't, but I'm not here to debate the nuances of the outcome of the event. Today, I want to focus on what you do as the organizational leader when you are at these events. Now, let's use an example here. Let's just say you are hosting a gala. I'm going to give you two examples of an archetype of a leader as it relates to how you move through the event. So let's say you're hosting a gala and you are either A, that leader who is sort of running around behind the scenes, making sure that everything is perfect. You're in the kitchen, you're talking to the staff, making sure that the presentations of the food are great. You're making sure the chairs are set up correctly. You're making sure that if there are seating arrangements, you're going over those with a fine tooth comb. And all this is happening as people are arriving at the event. So you're, running around. Maybe people are seeing you dashing back and forth. Now, you should think about that. If that's you, if you identify with that archetype, I want you to take a moment and picture how the guests are perceiving you. Now, many of you may be thinking, well, look, they understand this is a busy time. We've got a lot to do and we're doing this for them. So, yeah, I have to be running around. I need to check with the kitchen. I need to make sure that the seating arrangements are correct. I need to make sure that all of those little details are perfect. That is my job. It is ultimately my responsibility as the leader of this organization. How do you think that looks to your guests? What are they seeing? They're seeing a leader who is dashing back and forth in and out of the kitchen or in and out of another back room, uh, you know, setting up things, maybe waving at folks that they see, but really just operating as if they must be doing what they're doing. Now, here's the second example. Maybe you can identify with this. As people are arriving, you are free. You are free from any responsibilities. You are free to connect with guests as they arrive. You are free to move around the room and connect with people. You are trusting that all is well behind the scenes because you've empowered your staff or the people that you've hired, whether it's the catering company, whomever, to do exactly what it is that you expect of them because you've had opportunities to sit and talk and give direction, empower them with the information that they need, and then let go. Now, if you identify with that archetype, with B, then you're on the right track. If that's you at an event, if you are free to move about the room and connect and enjoy the event, you're on the right track. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, enjoy the event. I mean, I'm working. Yeah, you're working, of course. And your time is going to be better used if you're free to connect with the people in the room. Now, the fundraising event itself is designed for obviously people to have a good time and obviously for you to be able to raise money. You know, there's a net gain goal dollar wise that you're focused on, whether that's 80,000, $100,000, whatever that may be. We're not going to get into the minutia of how you get there. Happy to do another episode on that. But I could tell you in that episode and this, I am going to be emphasizing the importance of being free to move around the room. Because you see, if you are hosting a gala, food is great, the music is great, maybe you have a guest speaker, maybe you have a live auction, the atmosphere is wonderful, and people are participating, and you happen to net $100,000. Many organizations will celebrate and go home. But the reason why it's so important for you to be free to move around the room is because you need to connect with those people in the room. Because what you don't want is this gala, this event, to be a transactional experience. Yes, your guests are having a wonderful time. They paid to come to the event. They're participating in the live auction, the silent auction. They know that their responsibility or the expectation of them as a guest is to participate in these things to help generate money for the organization. But it's very transactional. Your job as the organizational leader is to focus on the relational. If you have, let's say, 30 or so individuals in that room that meet link, interest, and ability, and you've heard me talk about this before, link to your organization, interest in your mission, and the ability to give at a major gift level. Now, yeah, they paid to come to the event, and I'm not suggesting that you solicit them at the event. What I'm suggesting that you do is you do what I call seed planting. That you use this opportunity to thank them for coming. And I mean walking the room, talking to individuals who meet that criteria, thank them for coming, ask them if they're having a good time, and then get permission to follow up. Hey, thank you for being here. Are you enjoying yourself tonight? Excellent. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I'd love to grab coffee with you at some point. Would it be okay if I give you a call in the next few days to set something up and I could chat with you about some of the great things that are happening? Yeah, sure. I mean, the likelihood of anyone saying no is slim to none, especially in an atmosphere of fun and it's festive and all of those things. So, what I'm suggesting that you do is you're taking advantage of the fact that you have a number of people in the same place who have the capacity to make a major gift. Yes, they came to the event. Yes, they paid to come to the event. But this is different. They got the experience of coming to the event. They understand that the event is designed to raise money, but they also understand that you, as the leader, need to connect with them and build those relationships. They get it. So when you're at these events, just two words that I want you to stay focused on when it comes to your role as the leader of the organization. And that is to be visible and available all evening long. Be visible and available. You want your guests to see the leader of the organization calmly moving through the room, connecting, in command, trusting that the staff is going to do its thing so that you can have meaningful conversations throughout the night. And it's okay to enjoy yourself as the leader. Because if it looks like you're running around and you've got a scowl on your face and you're back in the kitchen and you're over here in the corner with this staff person and over here talking to another staff person, pointing and making sure that they're doing the things that need to be done, yeah, that may feel like something you need to do. But the perception of you doing that from your guests will not necessarily be positive. In fact, many will think, oh, they must not have done all the things they needed to do to get ready for this. You may think that, oh, well, they could see I'm busy. They must understand. You're doing yourself and you're doing the organization and most importantly, the people you serve a disservice if you aren't focusing on being that second archetype, fully present, fully available, fully visible to the participants, to your guests at the event. So, if you wonder what you should be doing at a fundraising event, and by the way, what I'm suggesting to you isn't just limited to fundraising events. What I'm suggesting to you could be at any event that you're hosting, or more importantly, any event that you attend. Of course, you would have no responsibilities at that event. So being visible and available is pretty easy, but then you can really focus on seed planting. So a lot of people worry about working the room. How do you work the room? How do you network? If you know who's going to be in the room, whether you're hosting the event or somebody else is, take a look at that list. There may be 4 or 5 people on that list that you want to connect with, you've been trying to reach, or you already have a relationship with. Your job throughout the event is to connect with that person and plant that seed so that you can follow up with them, get permission from them to have time for a longer in-depth conversation with you, because those long in-depth conversations don't necessarily take place at these events. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be interrupted by somebody else who wants to speak to you or the person that you're talking to, or the activities are related to the event are about to begin. So you're going to be interrupted. So plant that seed, get permission to follow up, and then call them and schedule that time to meet with them. This is a big part of relationship fundraising. You can take advantage of those people in the room that you know have capacity. And let me restate that. You're not taking advantage of those people. You're taking advantage of the fact that those people are in the room. And you're going to connect with them. And you're going to get permission to follow up. And on this goes. So you identify with that first person. If you are that first person who runs around and is behind the scenes, it's not a good look. You may think it's okay. You may think it's acceptable. You may be listening to this or watching this and saying, well, I don't have a whole lot of staff. So how am I going to be able to pull this off? Well, that's where volunteers come in. That's where your board comes in. So your board members don't necessarily have to be in the position of being visible and available. If you have that, that if you don't have that kind of support, that kind of staff, then your board can step in and assist with those things, or other volunteers. Set yourself up for success. Don't wait till the last minute. Plan the event accordingly. Get the details and all the minutiae out of the way so that you are visible and available to your guests. I hope this is helpful to you. It was an important lesson that I learned throughout my career. I was one of those who fumbled around, wasn't sure what to do in the room. And so I was either cowered in the corner with other staff members, or I was running around behind the scenes helping. And I felt like I was doing something. And in all actuality, I was missing an opportunity to connect with people in the room so that those relationships can flourish and grow that lead to an ask and a gift. So, again, I hope this is helpful to you. And as always, this fundraising thing, it's not about the dollars. It's about what the dollars do for the people that you serve. Thanks. And we'll see you next time.